This Week in League, with Greenberg gone, the big search is on. For the next thing, NRL fans will bitch about until they get it.
Bat-eating cunts failed to stop the yeary of Cleary with the NRL season given the green light to resume.
In the interest of returning to normality, Project Apollo elects to retain all competition points and keep the Tigers in ninth.
Plus, we power on waiting for the resumption of the 2020 NRL season.
All that and more This Week in League. Welcome to episode 347 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
How you doing, man?
I am buoyed by the news, and buoyed as in
depressed and unwilling to move interstate to play
and using
continue your career
and using
refusing
sudden
to tackle
mental illness as an excuse for
depressed
being a
lymphatic
fuckhead.
immunity to get away from everything as usual. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
no,
no.
the other buoyed or buoyed, as our American fans would be used to hearing.
yes, I understand. You're buoyed by this afternoon. The
Hashtag Yeary of Cleary's back on.
no one said anything about that
Yes.
at all. No one said shit about that.
Well, you are right, because it didn't actually stop. It was just
Stopped on the
paused.
weekend at the hands of Benji.
It was just paused.
Fucking Benji. And Cheekam with another one of his specials as well.
Yeah.
My God, it was fucking glorious.
Yeah, I've seen that. It was hacked. There
It
were
was
hackers.
Bots.
The game was hacked. Yeah, that's it. We were using a targeting program.
How has your week in isolation been?
Mate, I am, and I understand this is a fucking first world problem. But I thrive on human interaction and being fucking cooped up by myself
Yes.
is fantastic for a certain period of time. But yeah, I'm starting to go a little bit ISO crazy, which again, I understand is a first world problem. And there
It is
are
a first world problem.
people doing, actual shit things like cleaning up bedpans of corona patients and
Do they piss different?
no,
It's not like Ebola where they're pissing out organs.
look, I don't assume cleaning up any piss would be overly
No,
pleasant.
that's what I'm. Yeah, I'm just.
So-
But I mean, if Rona didn't exist,
Well,
and
who
your
else is pissy cleaning up?
your job is to clean up hospital piss, you're probably cleaning it up whether Rona's around or not, right?
Yeah, true.
And especially in Australia with such a low infection rate, you're probably probably still just cleaning up regular like cancer piss or whatever anyway, right?
And as we've established, Australians are fairly fucking trash. So I imagine most of that would be that fairly fucking dehydrated.
Fluoro yellow.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Fuck you, Australia. Drink your fucking water. Just stay hydrated. It's not fucking hard.
Yeah. The best fucking neon piss though is like immediately after taking like a vitamin. Sometimes it doesn't even matter how much water you've drunk. It's just like you've just sucked off a highlighter.
Yes, no, I'm over the moon that we have an official resumption date for the season, that clubs can get training.
Mhm.
Look, it's two things in 1 year where New Zealand can pretend they matter. The Warriors are coming over and, everyone's been, oh, yay, thanks, Warriors.
Yeah, I haven't really looked that deeply into. I mean, I am aware that the Queensland teams or the interstate teams or outside of New South Wales teams will be required to relocate to within New South Wales, and that's perfectly logical.
Yep.
And hopefully that also includes a three game Origin series in New South Wales as well.
Yes.
The home of rugby league,
Yes.
the most fanatical fan base.
Most loyal fan base.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't go through that kind of fucking
No.
like constant
No, not at all.
cheated defeat, like
Yeah.
not actual defeat, like defeat where you've been cheated out of a
Correct.
chance of victory. And I was just checking the calendar. Hopefully, remember we were lamenting the other day that we were like, if it comes back in May 28, when's it going to like correlate to episode 350, like a milestone
yes.
would be great.
Yes.
I just with that whole training on the 4th of May thing, I was like, oh, fucking, where does that sit? And it's like 2 days before 49.
Fuck.
So it also doesn't work. I didn't feel like doing it in my head though, so I just had to go to grab the phone, just get the calendar out, just to like jump the weeks. But yeah, unfortunately, no, that doesn't work either. So I guess if a player wants to fuck a bat or something in the next couple of days, just push things back a touch, just to help us out. We just need 5 days really. I mean,
yeah, that's it.
Just buy us 5 days, fellas. But yeah,
and the State of Origin series will go ahead, and I fucking love Brad Fittler.
Yeah, he's like, we'll fucking play it. Yeah,
and his war with the fucking chinless thing that runs Queensland, and I don't mean that in any sort of metaphorical boxing sense. I literally mean the bitch has no chin.
You've established that a chin is very important to you, and in fact, the more chin, the better.
In a political leader, as a footballer,
if you want to put lead in stepdad's pencil,
show me the chin.
You need to bring some chin.
That's it. Fucking what's that song from Mary Poppins?
Chimney.
Oh, it's Chimney, not Chimney. Fuck, there you go.
Well, just Shane doesn't rhyme, and your anaconda don't want none unless you got
chins.
Chins, hun.
But good old Brad Fittler and his war of words.
Yep.
With Anastasia.
Freddie's got the passion.
Palashachuk.
If there's two things I know about Brad Fittler, passion and an absolute fucking dump truck ass.
Fair enough. It's an interesting two things.
Wait, we're just talking about Baby Got Back.
True.
Freddie got it. Him and Joey. No wonder they work so well together.
That is true. But Freddie during the week was having a run-in with the Premier of Queensland, and the response was typical Queensland bullshit. The office of the Premier sent back a statement.
Coward.
And I may be paraphrasing here, but they basically said, it's ridiculous for him to say that. The Premier is in the middle of a global crisis or pandemic or whatever it is. No, she's not. The globe is.
Yeah.
She's looking after probably one of the 4 least affected regions on the face of the fucking planet.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I have enjoyed about this whole pandemic thing is seeing the other states' premiers and how they operate.
Yeah. So which one is it? What, are you being impressed by any of these, or? I
got a soft spot now for the Tasmanian one. Because
cunt circus down there, though.
Yes.
They've got fucking. Well, for starters, I mean, I feel for Tasmania in the respect that their secluded island, which should have been a fucking fortress against infection, was infected by once again Ruby Princess cruise having cunts. But then the fucking doctors throw a party or whatever.
Yeah,
I actually know someone down there who works in health who's been quarantined for 2 weeks just because of they've done it to everybody in health in wherever that fucking like in northern dumb Tasmania.
Fucks.
Yeah, fucking.
But yes, the Tasmanian Premier just strikes me as a little bit more powerful than a school principal. Like within his little world, I'm sure he's very important.
Well, I mean,
But just the way he was talking
how much intellect does it take to become the king of deliverance?
So, and Australia's not greatly affected, and where we are affected, it's obviously tragic. But I remember hearing him once, he was talking about the biggest crisis that Tasmania faced was the vandalism of motorhomes.
Oh, really?
And what was happening was that people were seeing motorhomes with Victorian plates on them.
Yeah.
And vandalising them.
And say fuck off, we're full of something.
Yeah, basically trying to smash them and say fuck off back to Victoria, we don't want your corona.
So that's what Marty Bryant did with all those bullets.
And he had to explain. So it took the Premier on a news conference
to say don't do that.
To say, no, they're Tasmanians, but they keep and register their motorhomes in Victoria so they can go on holidays there. And they've just bought them back because they don't know how long we're going to be in lockdown for. Please don't vandalise them.
Fucking hell.
But seriously, the Victorian Premier has impressed me fucking greatly.
Yeah.
And it's odd for anything out of that absolute cunt hole of a state to do anything that comes close to impress me.
What's he done specifically? Anything, or just generally?
Well, whereas the Queensland Premier is talking about, all the important shit she's doing, she can't talk to Brad Fittler and this. The Victorian Premier, I've seen him asked in almost every press conference, when can AFL start again? Wouldn't AFL be good for people? Wouldn't this? And he answers it so fucking well. He says, I would love for footy to be back. I love footy. I know Victorians love footy. And it would be a boost to the people to have it back. However, that will be up to the Chief Medical Officer to advise. That's all he says. That's all he fucking says.
That's all he really can say too, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he doesn't.
Well, I mean, he could go a little bit further and say, it's a fucking cunt of a sport.
Yeah, he could.
I'd much prefer rugby league to run unopposed and hopefully kill off this cancerous fucking shit-stained sport.
Yes. It does. It does look like a fucking under-8s soccer game with grown men playing it. There's a ball somewhere and a pile of bodies on top of it. But it just goes to show that Queenslanders actually don't love Origin and they're fair weather fans.
Oh, it's the year 3.
When
Origin's just about dead. 3 in a row, Origin dies.
That's it. When the leader of the state of Queensland,
what was that noise?
The text, doesn't want to...
Receptacle?
No.
That means yes. That means yes, but she might listen, and I really shouldn't refer to her like that. Am I fucking you up now?
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, Queensland from the head down, snake rots, fish rots at the head.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it's a chinless head.
Exactly.
The rot is far more pronounced or accelerated.
Exactly.
So you say? Yeah. Oh, poor old Palace Chuck. Poor old Chucky. I don't even know how we got onto that subject, but yeah, obviously NRL's coming back. May the 4th will be the resumption of training for the players. May 28th will be the date which is the one that they mooted, was it a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Seems like the 28th has kind of been mooted for quite a while. But they've got the green light from government and it's all happening. The ladder will remain as it was when the competition was suspended. With all points, it will be carried over to the resumption of play. What else? I think they haven't really got the structure or anything, how many weeks it's going to end up and all that sort of thing. That's not finalised yet. I would imagine that will come soon. And there's obviously a component there that we will get to, which involves the networks. And I guess that's what the talks are. They have to televise the shit, so makes sense. And yeah, I guess it gives the NRL the opportunity. Well, yeah, it is a gamble because anything could theoretically happen. But at the moment, the response Australia wide to the Rona has been pretty good. I mean, it would have been a lot fucking better if they torpedoed that fucking ship and didn't let it dock. But I mean, we would probably be. The infection rate would be so fucking low without that fucking cancerous fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so they should torpedo the entire industry on site, you know, in future. However, the response has been fairly good. I mean, our rate of testing is pretty high, comparatively speaking, and we still get and usually when a country has a high amount of testing, it usually results in a high amount of documented infections, but even with that, our infection rate's fairly low comparatively speaking, especially around a lot of places around the world.
And most of what have we had? Under 80 die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think 40 something of those were from the one aged care facility.
Yeah. So
and let's be fair, the Grim Reaper was fucking rolling dice in that place before fucking Corona came in.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's a risk, it's a calculated risk, but I mean, it looks like the NRL are going to, at the end of this, they're going to have a bit of like open road in front of them in terms of being one of the only professional sports in the world that are on.
Yes.
Also, I guess within this country at least, they'll probably be a bit of a model for how some of the other sports go about their resumption.
Mm-hmm.
Which are all good things.
And I'll tell you what,
I'm trying to be positive in everything first.
you're lighting candles.
I'm lighting the candles because, hey, let me tell you, I get tired of these fucking non-game having shows.
Yes.
It's not even that. I don't care about the non-game, as far as talking on the show, but with the news being pretty much the same fucking variation of the story for a month straight, I'd like to have something different to talk about. And if the games are going on, then surely they'll players will be beating their misses and all that sort of stuff in no time.
Yeah, there you go. It's this fucking cycle of click enticing bullshit that we're in now.
Yes.
And unfortunately, dumb cunts keep feeding the beast.
Mm-hmm.
And so it will continue to grow. It's not a hard fucking equation, right? If there's an organization, a media organization,
mm-hmm.
and they get money when people do a certain thing, if they take an action that makes people do the thing that gets them money,
mm-hmm.
they're going to keep doing that thing.
Yeah.
It's really not fucking rocket science here. And all it is something happens, and an event happens, whatever it is.
Yep.
For example, Greenberg.
Yep.
Right? So Greenberg's gone.
Yep.
He's gone. We know that's happened.
Yep.
And so now the minute that's happened, now all the speculation stories come up.
Why?
And
whose decision was, yeah.
Well, it's not even that. It's stuff like who'll replace him.
Yeah, there's that. That too.
And it's the same thing happens when a coach goes.
Yep.
And you read the articles, and it's not as if the journalist has put any investigative thought.
But even if they did, there are no answers to be had anyway. Like, the answers literally don't exist.
Exactly.
They're just writing a big passage of nothing.
Exactly. All it is they go out and they say, like, I saw one today, had David Gallup as a possible fucking candidate.
Yeah. I saw that one. I didn't click on that one, but I saw the thumbnail.
Yeah.
It had like five thumbnails or whatever people, yeah.
And so it's, okay, well, hang on. All they've done is gone, who's in a similar job, or fuck, there's not enough of them.
Yep.
Or has been in a similar job.
Yep.
Then you get the other camp going, well, it's got to be a rugby league person.
Fucking Gus tonight. Yeah. I saw a lot of that as well.
Gus, and Brandy, fucking bless your cotton socks.
Look, I understand the thought process of Brandy, and he's going, okay, this is a guy who's a rugby league person, but also has a financial background and all that sort of thing that outside of the game and sat on boards and stuff before. So maybe, but you know what? I think the Dragons would prefer you just go down there and fucking replace Mary. Speaking about twos, it is.
No, they've got Flano waiting. They don't need a fucking coach. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know if they're that happy about that either, though.
Was anyone happy with Flano?
Well, I mean, even the Sharks fans, even like 2017, they're like, he's giving them a fucking premiership, and they're kind of like, oh, fuck, Flano out.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do if a girl comes around and she gives you the best blowjob you've had in 50 years?
Yeah.
And you've been getting fucking edged for 50 years. You've had other girls through.
Yep.
Some of them get you close.
Yep.
Some of them just knee you in the balls for fucking 4 minutes straight.
This is so hot, this scenario. Keep going.
Some of them are, come in and just fucking sandpaper your chotis. It's fucking...
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, one girl comes in.
Yep.
And she's just like, lick, swallow, you're done.
Yep.
But then she starts to bitch about, you need to paint that room and you need to do this.
Thank you for this fucking... accurate depiction of life. Yeah. I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, I'm saying Flano got him one good thing in 50 years.
Yeah.
But after that, he really wasn't a pleasure to be with.
Yeah, man, you're saying he's the problem? I know so many Sharks fans, and you're still going to say he was the problem? Come on.
Well, for the club, not necessarily for the fans.
Yeah. It's like your story is the person who gets the blowjob is the one that starts complaining. Because
No.
that's how it was with the Cronulla.
Yeah, true.
Is the one getting deployed and going, oh, fuck.
Why aren't your tits bigger?
Yeah.
Or buy new ones.
My blowjob was the best day of my life, but it's still not fucking good. It's still not enough.
Yeah, whenever that blowjob's on Fox Sports, I'll watch it.
Oh, wow, I got way off fucking track there. So another story from the week, and obviously related in its way. There's Todd Greenberg has stepped down from his position of the NRL CEO effective immediately after 4 years in charge. He issued a statement and said it was a mutual agreement made with the ARLC. Volandis thanked Greenberg for his contribution to the game, quoting, the role of chief executive of the NRL is one of the most challenging and difficult roles in Australian sport with a diversity of passionate stakeholders. The ARLC thanks Todd for his contribution to the game over the last 7 years and as chief executive for the last 4. So, yeah, Greenberg, let's find a quote from Greenberg. It's been my great honour and privilege to be the CEO of the NRL for the last 4 years. Despite the variety of challenges and pressures, I've loved every single minute of the journey. Our growth over the last 4 years has been extraordinary, and I'm very proud of my contribution to the game. I'm indebted to the game for the variety of opportunities and experiences that have been provided to my family and I, and we leave with many great memories and lifelong friendships, etc., 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 and so on and so forth.
It's had an interesting spin in the media.
Well, there's a couple of interesting directions of spin. Channel 9 are pretty much just outright fucking gloating over it.
Yeah.
Particularly Danny Weidler. But, you know, him being a fucking shit stain has never been a surprise to anybody.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
The social media has been just outrage. How could he be forced out? Fuck Channel 9, fuck Foxtel. The game's going to go backwards, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
And look, I don't, and that's not to say that I completely disagree with that outlook. It very well could, and I mean it's very clearly tied to. I'm not sure if it's tied directly to the networks, because I also feel that just in this period of instability and like weakness of the game itself, weakness of the world due to this Rona, I have a feeling that just a lot of axes to grind have been able to be, to come to the fore.
Yeah.
And so the club, I mean, it's no secret that, he wanted to give the clubs less money, or more. The clubs wanted more of this and more of that, and they weren't getting it from him because he would stand up to the clubs.
Yep.
So therefore, the clubs were an enemy. And so in this period with things being weaker and, the media campaigning against him on another front entirely, then it just became like an opportune moment for them to, sort of stamp their feet as well. So I think it was a number of things, not just necessarily Channel 9. But yeah, the way I liken it, like I don't think, like I think for the 4 years, I think the CEO of the commission, and everything, the NRL, I think he did a great job. And like that's coming from someone who fucking hates that guy's guts. Like, I have to say, I think he did a great job. We've spoken about the figures ad nauseum over the last 2 to 3 weeks, and the figures bear out that it was a very successful time for the game, and becoming more successful year on year.
I think that this points to larger issues within the game.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst Greenberg did a lot of things very well, really you need to sit down and have a look at what a fucking CEO's job is.
Yeah.
And in any business, your C-level executives, and depending on what sort of business you're in, it's a CEO and generally a CFO for finance, and an OO for operations if you're big enough, and sometimes there's a TO for tech.
Yep.
There's fucking a whole bunch of different Cs that you can be. Realistically, the CEO needs to steer the ship. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yep.
They're not, realistically coming up with a lot of things. They're meant to be the lighthouse, I guess, and the other people are driving the operational side of the business. He definitely made some mistakes and failed to read the room in a few instances. The Cameron Smith's wife's ring was an obvious one.
Yep.
But if you went through any business and looked for decisions made at the top that failed to take into account the mood of the rest of it, you would find dozens of examples in every single business. The difference is that those businesses aren't dissected fucking daily.
They're not news.
That's
it. They're everyday operations aren't.
Yeah, that's it.
Are never news.
Looking into it anyway, Greenberg's contract was up at the end of the year.
Yeah. And if you believe everything you read, and I'm inclined to think that, where there's smoke, there's fire, that leading into the Rona, I mean, he was already fairly shaky. He's been kind of unfairly just the elevation of Landis to the chairman was pretty much thought to be, the dead man walking sort of, for his term anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fairly apparent he wouldn't have been renewed.
Yeah, yeah.
But the other thing that you don't know is whether he would have sought renewal.
Yeah.
He might have said, I've had.
Did he say that he wasn't going to? I can't.
I don't know.
I feel like that maybe he said that somewhere. I may be wrong though.
And it's not a situation that's out of possibility. That he's looked at this and gone, I'm up at the end of the year.
Yep.
There's going to be a fucking significant level of work.
Yep.
To get through this year.
Yep.
Or to get the game back on track.
Yep.
And then I leave at the end of the year.
And I've committed to a pay cut for that period as well.
Yeah, that's it. So he's reportedly been paid out $500,000 out of his, what's he on, 1.25?
Yep.
Which
is not bad. It's probably more than what would have worked out to be if he was going month on month.
But also, as much as Todd Greenberg is a low-life piece of shit, there's a song that says so it must be true, allegedly.
That song will be ending this episode.
He obviously has a love for the game. You don't work in a position like that with a casual respect for the product that you're selling.
Yeah.
You grow to love
the
product that your business represents and puts out in the marketplace. And so it's not out of the question that he went, well, you know what? This is a good time for me to step aside, for them to put somebody else in that can get them through this bit and then lead them into whatever they're going to do from here on in. So it may not have been as cut and dry as, he was pushed and he had to go and he jumped and he this.
Yeah.
That it was just an opportune time.
Yeah.
The other part of it that I don't think is getting enough airplay, and who knows how accurate this is, but there's the reports that it was the Warriors boss that rang Volandis.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that said who it was, but
it's come out.
There was a club. Yeah, it was a call from the club,
Warriors.
Yep.
And they were pissed off that
about the way that he dealt with the.
Not that, it was that they were trying to get information on how they'd get to Australia.
Oh yeah, that's right. And they needed more advanced information because they required 2 weeks to.
Whatever it was.
Yep. They needed to be 2 weeks ahead of things because they would have leaving New Zealand and landing in Australia. They would be locked up for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, to me, it seems odd that a businessman as accomplished as Greenberg would legit ignore someone.
Yeah. I dare say, no matter what I think about Greenberg, I'm almost 100% fucking certain that would not have been the case.
And that he just would have said, maybe, I can't tell you right now, we're still working it out, or as soon as we know, we'll tell you, or we're trying to find out, or we don't have any information yet.
Because surely he would have like an executive assistant or something anyway that would be...
Someone's taking his fucking messages.
That would be in his fucking messengers or in his email and bringing shit like that. There's no way that he... Yeah.
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 And the fact that the clubs feel that it's okay to in essence, go over someone's head.
Yeah.
With that sort of petty shit. Like if you're the boss of a fucking club, you need to realise that Greenberg's number one motivation, or whoever the CEO is, their number one motivation is to get the season back on track.
Mm-hmm.
They understand that they need the Warriors for that to happen.
yeah.
They've already come out and they've gotten the other clubs to agree to not train until the Warriors can train to keep a level playing field.
Yep.
You're well aware that you are within their plans for reopening the season.
And nothing's going to happen without you.
You're jumping up over someone's head because you're not happy with the response time.
Yeah.
They're not getting back to you on purpose.
Yep.
In that instance. The other thing that strikes me is that let's say he didn't. Let's say he just ignored the cunt.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe he did because there's a lot of shit going on at the moment and he was sick of some fucking weird accented cunt at him going, oh, when's the fucking plane going to come get us so we can get over to Aussie? And just being an absolute fucking annoying prick.
Because you know what? The other alternative is that maybe, just maybe, the things in motion hadn't fully come into motion and he didn't have a fucking answer that was different to the one from yesterday.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
You know? And I've been in situations at work and everyone's different, you know? And you learn pretty early on that you need to ascertain people's expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And to get around those dumb fucks, you need to set the expectations as in, I will give you an update on the progress of this here.
Yep.
And you put it in your diary to fucking send them an email then. Even if you do that, some people, 3 days before the agreed time, any news?
Yep.
Heard anything yet?
Yep.
Yeah? But even if that happened, and even if he ignored him and didn't reply and didn't respond and was actively avoiding telling him and had the information and was fucking giggling in his little I'm a fucking ex-bulldog fuckwit, rat way.
Yep.
Even if he was, that is not a reason to unseat a CEO.
No, that's right. It's not.
And it just goes to the fuckhead broadcast media on both sides printing assumptions and half-truths and hearsay in the interest of outrage and getting clicks.
Yep. That's it. And
fuck them.
At the end of the day, Greenberg's history with rugby league is pretty much the same amount of time as this fucking show's history. So I guess that means we win. I guess that means I win, Todd, because I'm still here.
Yeah,
and you're not, you bald motherfucker. But the way I see this entire situation is, it's like Russell Crowe was fucking amazing in Inside Man. Should have won an Oscar for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, but he didn't, because that year they decided it was someone else's year to win instead.
But he's not even the best inside man I've seen. Like the goatsie's always.
So, I mean, he wasn't really. There was nothing really so much inside though. I mean, because he was just the Hope Solo was open for all to see. But then Russell Crowe wins in 2001 for Gladiator. I like Gladiator. Don't get me wrong, great fucking movie. Russell Crowe's performance. Not a patch on fucking Inside Man. And it's the same like Denzel Washington. He wins Best Actor Oscar for Training Day. Should have probably got it for Hurricane. Like, people, I fucking love Training Day more than most people. Sometimes you get your just desserts for something that's not the thing you deserve them for. And Todd, he got this L, not for anything he did while CEO of the NRL. He did it for the shady fucking shit he was doing back when, 2011, 2012. I'm going to have to put a big alleged in here, but the alleged inducements for coaches to break contracts with the promise of paying any legal fees, the attempted burial of Ben Barber and all the bullshit he carried on with back then. Numerous fucking things.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Motherfucker, take this L.
There is 100%. You deserve. There's not an innocent party in this.
Yeah.
There's not an aggrieved and a.
You deserve this L. It just came 8 years too fucking late. But you know what? They say about revenge, dish so cold, etc., etc.
Yeah. Do you know what I say?
I'll eat this revenge fucking balled up with fucking bats in it. Give me the Covey. I don't give a fuck.
You know what I say?
My life's purpose is fulfilled.
That believing in karma.
Yes.
is 1/15th away from believing in star signs.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
I never said it was karma.
okay.
I just said that he deserved his L, just not for this. But yet, I will still enjoy this L, as if, no matter what it was for. That's all I'm saying. Now we can get to speculation time. The speculation time, because we don't know yet, unless you've seen news released in the last hour. It is my understanding that as yet, there has been no new finalised deal with Channel 9 and Fox, etc. So the speculation, though, which I've only seen from one thing, it was from SMH, and it was like Chamis with an article, an exclusive article, saying that what will happen is a new broadcast deal with Channel 9 and Fox Sports that will extend the partnership until at least the end of 2025. So at the moment, the deal goes till the end of 2022. And obviously, we know how, there was a great amount of money, and Channel 9 now, due to the change of circumstances, with COVID, etc.
Yep.
They don't want to pay full freight for the remaining 2 years of the deal and this year. So there's looking like there's going to be...
It is interesting. I'm very curious as the grounds of what they've gone 2 years for.
I feel like that the way I read it is that the NRL, they feel their current motivation is, their immediate motivation is like viability for now, and to, rebuild, sort of push through this and then up again.
Yep.
So to do that, they need broadcast partners. So they've got them by the balls to an extent. I mean, admittedly, it goes kind of both ways in the respect that, as we've already spoken about in the past, that, Channel 9's top programming, except for fucking maths, it's rugby league.
Yeah.
It's NRL, whether it's Origin, Grand Finals,
Yeah,
etc.
that's it.
So Channel 9 don't have the, Channel 9's balls are, aren't exactly unfucking ungripped in this scenario.
Yeah, spot on.
But this is why it's speculation time, because nothing's happened yet. And it'll probably fucking happen Thursday morning. But I presumably, because of this whole COVID thing, Channel 10, Channel 7's like AFL'd up the wazoo, right? So Channel 7, they probably don't have the ability to make a bid on rugby league. So you'd see like an Optus, potentially, but like Channel 10 would be the other major network, the certainly free to air provider.
I don't think Optus has the cash to throw around.
And you know what? Perhaps Channel 10 doesn't either, because
Channel 10 is fucking broke as shit.
Because these fucking guys,
the only way Channel 10 would want to get into the game, Channel 10 are owned by an American TV network.
Yeah, and they've got if they could get some sort of backing from CBS or whatever to.
And this is the position that always comes up when people talk about American parents wanting to get in, and we are such a fucking insignificantly small market that we do not even fucking register on their list. For example, there's a good friend of the show that works for a company that's in the business of having sponsorships with different athletes. For every major sport, they have talent scouts.
Yep.
That will go and try and find, talented people to sponsor, and mutually beneficial agreement. We'll pay you cajillions of fucking dollars. You wear our brand. So,
and the next one too, before competitor brands.
Yeah, but they're putting active fucking work in
to finding these people,
find them and identify the one. And when asked why they don't do that here, they said it's honestly no fucking payoff. And so the needle
does not move.
They'll go to junior carnivals and just go fucking, where are the fucking 10 best kids?
And just give them swag and just try to develop brand loyalty from...
Here's this. Would you like to be an XYZ brand athlete?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You get free shoes.
Yep.
Fuck off.
Yep.
We'll pay you nothing.
Yep.
So I don't think Channel 10 will come into it.
No. And so being the business landscape being what it is, Channel 9 knows that.
Yes.
They know there are no other competing offers coming in.
Correct.
Fox know that. They know there's no competing offers coming. So they know that whatever leverage that the NRL had in having these most highly rated programs of the year, it amounts to fuck all if they can't sell it on somewhere else.
Correct. Exactly. You're only worth what the market says you're worth.
Exactly. And at the moment, I just don't think the market can there's no one in position to make a compelling counter offer to try and wrestle the rights away from Nine and Foxtel. So therefore, there is no leverage on the NRL side, and so the way I read it is they basically, I guess they have to somewhat, given that they've got no leverage now, they have to somewhat acquiesce to whatever has to happen to get games telecast this year.
Yep.
So that there is a cash flowing in, and
that's it. And it's not an unsavvy move by Nine to go in and go, you know what? We consider that you are not providing your side of the bargain in this contract. Mm-hmm. We feel as if there is now no agreement between us.
Yeah.
So if you want anything at all for the rest of the year, so you're free, you can play your fucking games.
Yeah.
We don't have to televise them because you're in breach here. You haven't. It's not your fault. We understand that.
Yep.
Unless it was
however the contract is in breach it.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless it was Cameron Smith that ate the bat, in which case fuck him.
Yep.
But we don't think it was. So we know it's not your fault, but you haven't actually delivered that.
Yep.
So we now consider the agreement void.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to play it, we will consider a new agreement, but we want to talk about
that new agreement is obviously not going to be set at the same level.
And again, it's not
previous.
It's not an uncommon thing for businesses. Like fucking look at Virgin.
Yeah.
They're in administration, and all that means is that they are restructuring the company. They're trying to move money around to get an immediate benefit.
To try and make it viable to trade their way out of the whole, to try and keep alive long enough for the Rona to subside and to perhaps be able to continue in business.
And I don't think, honestly, and you've made the points exactly as they should be made, that the NRL's in a position of strength. The only way that the NRL could be in a position of strength was if they were ready to pull the trigger on an NRL-branded streaming service.
Yep, and if they could have used some of that line of credit that they negotiated from the UK or whatever
Yeah, it's, again, and if I'm very quickly considering it with very little thought put into it, if I had the option of using a line of credit or holding off for 1 year, 2 years, which we think very short term, especially when we're talking sport.
Yeah.
And we think in terms of a season. Mm-hmm. Because that season is everything while that season is going on. But that's the difference when you're looking at something from a strategic point of view. The season itself doesn't tend to matter as much.
Yeah, yeah.
And so thinking 1 or 2 years down the track isn't something that would be uncommon here.
Yeah.
And so if I had the option of dipping into a line of credit that probably wouldn't have been given at terms favourable to me.
No.
In this current debt market.
Yep.
Or getting something to ride me through, and I noticed one of the conditions he's supposedly looking at is guaranteed payment no matter what happens. Mm-hmm. Who knows if another corona will come.
Yeah.
But who knows how long it will last.
That's a negotiation of a favourable term in their favour.
Correct.
Yep.
That's it. It also keeps things like the RLPA on side.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings the club and the clubs and the players and the administration together. It's not a power move, but I don't think it's a dumb move. I don't think there is a power move for the NRL.
I don't think the NRL has a power move in this situation. And I get the main goal at this point. The imperative is to survival and to get games telecast and money flowing in, etc., etc.
And let's be frank, did the quality of the game? Sorry, finish what you were going to say.
But the one thing I do see though, the power. I mean, it's all power moves on Channel 9 side, obviously, in terms of saving money. But then there's also this apparent agreement from the NRL to reduce costs itself. Because Channel 9's going with that whole bloated head office, dumb cunt egg on Twitter opinion, and obviously they're not fucking stupid. They know it's not the case, but I mean it's a narrative they can push through their media enterprises and indoctrinate fucking stupid eggs on Twitter to say. But the thing is, if there's like some sort of push for the NRL to cut costs, I would be extremely disappointed and concerned if the area they cut costs from was the digital side of things and the streaming of games that they already do and things like that. Because if that were to happen, it would be highly beneficial to Channel 9.
100% it would be.
And highly beneficial to Foxtel.
Yeah.
Highly detrimental to us as fans.
I don't think they can have that much influence on it. And
I would hope not, because that would be a gigantic backward step, especially when we were sort of only, a week or two ago thinking like, wow, this is an opportunity for the NRL to, move to fuck Channel 9, Foxtel, do their own thing. No, that's not going to happen.
And here's the thing. This is where there's going to be some differences in the broadcast environment between what Volandis is used to and what the NRL offers. Volandis is used to working in a racing environment. And the amount of money generated by racing for the people that buy the broadcast rights is astronomical. It's fucking astronomical. Whoever has the broadcast rights has guaranteed sell-on, just like with Fox. Telstra buys their service for their apps. All the gambling companies buy the racing. It's a no-brainer to do that. Where the TAB, though, aren't releasing articles every day about racing and trying to also make money from the sport in another way. Whereas the NRL's in that unique position where they're trying to make money from the broadcaster, but the broadcaster's trying to make money from the game with clicks. Punters aren't clicks. So
So it's kind of speculative until it actually happens. But
it is.
And given that, that it's a Sydney Morning Herald article, which obviously Fairfax Channel 9 relationship exists, and so for them to push something that would seemingly favour Channel 9 is it's not something that I trust completely. But I would imagine also that it's probably not that far from what's going to happen.
Not at all.
So we shall see. It's all speculative, but that's what we can expect to happen.
Frank. Did the quality of games on the field increase or decrease after the last TV rights deal?
After the last TV rights deal, which was prior to 2018.
Did that TV rights deal have any actual impact?
No, I don't think
the money on the field.
Yeah, I don't think it increased or decreased. I don't think you could say you could. I don't think you could point to. You could seriously point to a game in 2017 and a game in 2018 and say there's a marked difference. I don't think so at all.
There was some big fucking media stories about it.
No,
it shouldn't affect the game.
The game remains by and large the same. Obviously, when you look, when you zoom out to a higher level and look at it, there's more obvious trends and mostly rule changes and things like that spawn that sort of thing. But generally speaking, and like Channel 9, they're not going to change the fucking quality of the product on the field one little bit.
Not at all.
God, they could stand to change the fucking quality of their product on the television. But look, though, so there's at the moment.
See, this is going to be very interesting once the games are back, and for our members when we start doing our monthly game companion. I say we use the Channel 9 coverage because then we can mercilessly mock every fucking reality TV show promotion they bring up. And I'll take advice from legal listeners. Should protect us under the laws that protect satire.
You're the parody and satire. I would love an expert in that field to sufficiently brief us on just
come at us, YouTube.
Oh yeah, we actually put that. Yeah, well that's the thing. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's a completely unrelated subject, but I mean, even like Rogan's talking about things on his show. and he won't put things on, any YouTube clips up anymore, even if they're directly talking about, and that really should be protected because
that's like
things
news or reviewing.
Yeah, and things like film reviews and things like that. You can put scenes out of movies and things like that up on there while you're speaking over the top of it and everything. So
I assume that's
what'll happen is we'll get DMCA'd.
Yeah.
And then argue it, and then it'll be like, yeah, okay, but at that point you've already been knocked off. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's probably how it works and how it will happen. But anyway, that's something else to talk about. So at the moment we don't know. It's speculation time. I don't know if people would be expecting us to just be like, oh fuck Channel 9 or fuck V'landys or fucking knife Greenberg, blah 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 blah. At this stage, I'm trying to be rational about things.
I'd 100% like for the game to get the same amount of money, to do nothing else for the broadcast, and then in 2022 renegotiate. So they've got a couple of years to build up that digital arm, so they can go into 2022 and say, look, we're here to negotiate with you, but this is our other option. Yeah,
and it also it gives Channel 10 a chance to get out of their fucked situation and the Rona, and you've got all sorts of companies, that'll be all coming out of that at the same time.
But I also realised that we're in the midst of a fucking unseen global pandemic, which has given the greatest economic impact since the Great Depression.
Yeah.
So what would have been a perfect situation in smooth sailing environment isn't necessarily something that's realistic now.
No.
And looking across the other sports, in terms of the impact of Corona, like you look across America, they've got no chance of restarting their seasons.
None.
And that's more so about how fucking stupid they've been and holding spit in my mouth parties for dumb cunts.
Yeah, yeah.
But even the AFL, like one of the AFL's major sponsors is Virgin.
Yeah.
So the NRL's looking at, well, okay, we might need to take a haircut later down the track to make us viable now, which again, lots of other businesses are doing right now.
Yep.
It's what's happening. If you've been unfortunately affected by Corona and you say, I need to stop my mortgage payments, then they pick up again and you've got a higher balance. So you're going to pay more, but you've done that to help get through a tough period.
And you had all of your money to eat during this time. Yeah.
Correct. That's not a perfect analogy, but
no,
but it's close enough. I'm excited for footy to be back.
Yep.
Fuck Greenberg as a staff, record label, and as a motherfucking crew.
Yep. Fuck Channel 9.
And if you're down with Channel 9, fuck you too.
Yep. Foxtel, fuck you.
Yeah.
And we shall see how just how fucking terrible the extension and the terms and all that sort of thing are going forward. Because then we may have a lot more to say about it if it's like... if V'landys allows the NRL to get completely fucking bent over it and starts doing things like regressing the game back to... the Channel 9, it mentions here that they want to...
They want more exclusive games.
A request from Channel 9, as a bid to rejuvenate the game and move towards a decentralised governance model like the English Premier League, which gives a push to empower the clubs.
Empower for what?
That's the thing. I don't quite understand that. I don't know anything about the English Premier League really, so I'm not sure about how that actually functions as an organisation and how they work it over there.
But by decentralising business, all that means is that there is no one entity that has direct control.
Yeah, well, they want obviously less no commission or less power resides at the commission.
Yeah, so then how do you compare that with models like American sport that have a fucking gigantic head office in almost every instance?
Yeah.
And are incredibly successful.
Yeah. And have an incredible amount of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know. That's something that I need to look into a little bit more, and I will when it actually comes to pass what this deal is going to be.
Once we have details, we can speak about what is going to happen or has happened rather than this fucking speculation bullshit.
Exactly. And because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fucking... if you just look at social media, there's going to be a lot out there of people just going, oh, fucking V'landys and fucking taking it back to Trick Raffle Day. We'll see.
Whatever.
Our response is we'll see.
Yep.
And then time comes. Fuck yeah, we'll unleash.
Exactly. What would be interesting though, I still would like to know how much we need to crowdfund to cover a lawyer for the person who hypothetically crowbars Danny Weidler in the knees right in the middle of one of his fucking shit cunt reports. I'm standing outside NRL headquarters. Fucking whack! Just full fucking Tonya Harding him.
And then the camera's obviously like, he goes to the ground, camera follows him to the ground, then it goes back up to the person holding the crowbar, who then is just like, pulls out, has like a backpack or a fucking man bag or something, pulls out a bat, takes a bite out of it, and spits it into Wheeler's mouth.
No, it just pulls it out. Fucking eat that bat. You fucking eat that bat.
That's my shit right there.
It's not a kamikaze mission.
I don't know if you saw this story, but Nelson Asafa-Solomona has challenged Darcy Lussick to a boxing fight. He took a screen grab of Lussick, standing over a dead Justin Hodges after the boxing match they had, and said and put a caption on there that said, "When your fighter retired back, Darcy Lussick, if you want a real fight, I'll happily jab your face off for easy money." He wrote on the post.
Fuck.
And look, Nelson's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
I would imagine he
can throw him too if the video in Bali.
Yeah, when he's all jacked up on fucking, on Bali pingers, whatever the fuck he was on. But
can you imagine how many pingers it'd take to move the needle on that cunt?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Trust me. I'm a big man too in my own way. I understand the trials and tribulations of trying to get your blood limit to a certain level. But the thing is, well, Lussick has a long fucking history of boxing. He actually can box. He's not one of these rugby league hobbyists like Paul Gallen.
Yes,
who's like a rugby league player, and then he was boxing since the same time he's probably been playing football, which showed with Justin Hodges, because Justin Hodges, he had no problem running through fat cunts that they stood up against him. But then he came against someone who can actually, consistently throw out a jab.
Yes,
and 39 seconds later he's fucking gone.
Yeah.
Like that quick.
Yeah.
So, I imagine Nelson, he seems to have a little bit of power from what I've seen. But a barroom, a Bali street fight is not exactly it's not the greatest proving ground, and at the same time, it's also not the greatest example of what the skills are. So I'm all for it. These things, they're generally meaningless in the scheme of things. But get in there, Big Nelson, because he wasn't there. He wasn't there at the Brookie Brawl.
No, he wasn't.
He was barely a twinkle in Bellamy's fucking sack. At the time of the
Twinkle in Bellamy's fucking tank of genetic experiments that he's just churning these cunts out of.
It was funny. I was just looking back over his career today when I was looking at that story. I was like, yeah, he started. He was coming up when he first started. He was like second row. How big's that?
Yeah.
At what point were you thinking, oh yeah, that cunt's not a prop? Like when? Yeah. Unless they put him on the growth or something. But while we're speaking of the Storm, it would be remiss of us not to take a trip down memory lane. This day, April 22nd, 2010, 10 years ago. I swear, it's 10 years ago, and 1 year ago to the day, my dick recovered from the savage fucking beating that it's received for the past decade over the Melbourne Storm salary cap incident. It's funny when people talk about the Rona and talk about these big events. What's the first big event that you can remember? I remember where I was when why'd you unmute yourself again? Happens every week. I'm sure that cunt was muted too. All the way down there. Look at you fucker. Just stay muted, cunt. Now, people will say things like, I remember when, the fucking, Durka-Durka's 9/11.
Yep.
Or like, when Princess Di died. Or, shit like that.
When fucking, what was his name?
Dodie.
Yeah. What a fuck, man. That's bad, hey.
What exactly he's driving, or?
Well, if you're getting a blowjob,
yeah,
and your car crashes that hard that it fucking flips and rolls, like you're not going to hit your head for a fair while.
Yeah, it makes you think of other car crashes and whose dicks and whose mouths in those ones.
Ooh. Like how bad? Like dying's fucking bad enough.
Yeah.
But for the last 10 seconds of your life to be a mix between, oh my God, I'm dying, and oh my God, my dick just got chomped off.
Yeah, well, you would hope for a swift death. You would hope he was the first to go, really. But and yeah, while this was certainly not the first event that I could, first big sort of event to remember.
Do you reckon as she was going,
yeah,
Princess Di,
yeah,
was like 10,000 spoons when all I need is a knife.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Fair enough.
But this is not the first big event, obviously, that I can remember because I've been around. But I do remember exactly fucking where I was when it happened. This seat right here. And I remember you'd see the things on Twitter start to come up, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And I remember going upstairs, turned the TV on, sat on the coffee table in front of the TV, wrapped by the David Gallup press conference, and just like masturbating, just immediately. And I had to change the fucking rug up there. I swear it was that crazy. And it was in the infancy of this show as well. I want to say the episode would have been, what I remember what happened was Glenn, before we started, he's like, okay, look, we'll do this, but I'll just so you know, in April, for the last 2 weeks of April or whatever, I'm booked to go. I'm going to PNG to do Kokoda. And I'm like, that's fine. We'll figure out something.
Fuck, was that then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so then this thing blew, then the show blew up pretty quick, and to the point where it wasn't really an option to just not do episodes for 2 weeks or whatever while he wasn't there. So I was like, fuck it, we'll figure something out. And so I had I had a friend that lived close, and she came on and did the episode. Would have been episode 5, and that would have been on the 1 week before, I think, the storm thing. No. It was. We were recording when we were recording. I think we might have been doing Monday nights back then.
Yeah.
So we recorded. We recorded a show because Glenn was away on the Monday night. The storm shit kicked off. It would have been like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Yep. And then she is lucky that she just sort of lived down the road. And so I said, you want to come over and do another one? And she's like, yeah, right. So we did that, and it was like a special episode in between. But I think it was around episode 6.
Yep.
So it was very fucking early on in the piece. But yeah, I remember it clearly, and at the time as well, having a lot of friends involved with the Manly Club, it was just a fucking jubilant time because because they knew exactly what was going on anyway.
Yeah.
In Clubland, people knew what was going on, or at the very worst, they suspected. And then so to have that sort of stuff come out, and and be actually confirmed.
My mail on it, from people involved with a couple of different clubs, was that, and this wasn't long after it.
Yeah,
they were actually shocked at the levels that they went to, like the whole 2 contract thing, and having
the amount of organisation behind it.
That, which also left them open to fuck ups.
Yeah,
whereas all the other clubs are like, why don't you just use fucking cash in
brown paper bags?
Yeah, brown paper bags, and why don't you just fucking buy cars for their mums like normal fucking clubs?
Well, yeah, you don't even go to the cars for the mums level, because even that's traceable to an extent. But like cash,
you'd find it very fucking hard to, if it's done properly, you'd find it very fucking hard to actually trace it back. But it's always shocked me that the people in Clubland, they weren't about the cheating. They were about, why the fuck did they do that?
Yeah. Well, look, they did it very fucking well, and it was only via a whistleblower that they were even caught.
Yep.
They were pretty much going to get away with it.
Yeah.
And then the whistleblowers just like dumped them in the shit.
Yeah.
At the 11th hour.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is funny. One of my guilty pleasures was an old series. It was called American Greed.
Okay.
And it was about the biggest scam artists in American history. Fucking go and find it. Fantastic series. There was a follow-up called American Greed: The Fugitives, which was fucking trash. Avoid that one.
It even sounds it. Yeah.
It was like America's Most Wanted for financial crimes, which is just not interesting at all.
So this is a documentary series, or is it like a dramatization?
It was
events.
pretty fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
It wasn't a legit doco, but he went through like Ponzi schemes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
real estate scams, and art scams, and wine investment scams, and all these ones. And the only ways people ever got caught was a disgruntled employee or they got greedy.
Yep.
So you're 100% right. If the Storm had just kept everybody gruntled and they didn't start to go, oh, fuck, we're actually getting away with this. Let's go start to fucking acquire some players.
Yeah.
You know, who else would you have taken at that stage? You know, maybe we'll say, well, what's Jared Hayne doing? Do we want him in the centres or?
Yeah.
They would have got away with it, and there would have been Suzuki Swifts and boats.
Yeah,
in
the one thing
driveways.
about I would love nothing more just to close off, just for closure on this whole thing, to speak to the whistleblower. Like,
Who are they?
Well, it's unknown. I'm pretty sure.
Were there ever legal investigations into it?
There was, because the club, because you have to when you have your salary cap declarations and your contracts lodged with the NRL, you have to you have to make stat decks. So therefore, the owners were like, well, fucking anyone involved in this, I want them investigated for, if they're doing stat decks to the effect of this thing, then that's fraud. And, so they actually got the Victorian police involved to try and, to determine, and, ASIC got involved as well just to try and see if there was anything. And apparently they just didn't find anything. And Victorian police eventually just got to the point where they were like, look, we don't have any more resources that we can devote to this. So,
to cast your mind back to the last one, the Parramatta one.
Yep.
The way they got them was through liquor, through their liquor license or their gaming license or whatever it is to operate a club, because it was the board of the actual club,
the leagues club,
not the football organisation.
Yeah, but it is completely fair as well to say in regards to the Parramatta situation, is that at a board meeting that was recorded, audio recording,
dumb cunts.
They they spoke about whatever.
Is that not enough to stop all this fucking talk of we need rugby league people running head office?
Yeah,
because that's what rugby league people do. A, they go and do fraudulent shit, but then B, they talk about their fraudulent shit in a board meeting where there's a fucking giant machine recording the board meeting.
Yep.
Fucking hell. Anyway.
I hear. So, as a result, when it all came down, they were stripped of the 2007-2009 premierships, the 2006, 2007, 2008 minor premierships, an Australian sporting record of $1.689 million in fines. 1.1 million of that was prize money that was redistributed equally between the other 15 clubs. 89,000 in prize money from the World Club Challenge, which was given to Leeds Rhinos, and then a maximum fine of $500,000 for breaching the salary cap. Deducted all eight premiership points they had received in the 2010 season, barred them from receiving any more premiership points, including buys that season, and for the rest of the 2010 season. And so what they basically accepted their punishment without question. But then later on, they tried to appeal the loss of the premierships and the premiership points for that season. They ultimately dropped the court action with that and paid the NRL's legal costs. And they had to urgently meet the 2011 salary cap by December 31st, 2010. So they had to cut their payroll by just over $1 million. And failure to do that would have seen them suspended from the 2011 NRL season. So on the next day, the NRL seized the secret dossier hidden in the home of the acting chief executive, Matt Hansen. The dossier contained letters of offer to 3 of the Storm's players, Inglis, Slater and Smith, and another unnamed player, guaranteeing illegal payments in the form of goods from third parties. For one player with a $400,000 contract lodged with the NRL, the letter of offer was valued at $950,000. And so it's one of those 3 guys, and contained a $20,000 gift voucher for Harvey Norman and a $30,000 boat. Other offers included a new car for a player's partner and $30,000 in home renovations, and the offers amounted to $700,000, of which the 4 players had already received $400,000. So Brian Waldron was one of the big casualties. He wasn't even at the Storm, I think, at the time. I think he was with the Rebels, the rugby union side in Melbourne at that point. But he signed all the letters of offer, but only Inglis and Slater had signed theirs. And they're saying it is said that the letters were written in a way the players may not have realised the extra payments were outside the cap. So ultimately, yeah, despite all like significant, in fact, probably doubling of their contracts registered with the NRL, no players were ever found personally responsible or indeed punished for anything.
So again, putting myself in a fucking dodgy Storm runner's shoes, how could you feasibly explain that to a player that, look, you're going to get this much money into your bank account?
Yep.
Are they that dumb that you could say, no, the salary cap just means your salary and that's this. Yeah. This is just stuff we give you because we like you.
Yeah.
Can they, are they legit?
Well, the other thing is, what about the player agents?
As in, how do they take their 10% of that?
Well, yeah, how did they not every player agent involved? Because to my recollection, no player agents.
No one.
And you could make an argument that the players were unaware of which portions were inside the cap and which portions were outside the cap, but the agents are 100% fucking aware.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones doing the negotiation.
Yep.
And they're the ones, and you know what they might say to the player, look, have the little stickers on there. I need you to sign here, over there, here.
Yeah.
Name and sign there.
That's it.
Like, I get that. And
If
a player's paying a lot of money, to an agent, and they've got a relationship with this guy, and they trust that that's what's happening. So that's fair. Okay, absolve the players. But how the fuck did they get away with it? How do the managers get away with it? And the agents.
Fuck, isn't that interesting? Like, you're not talking small chunks of change there.
Yeah.
Let's say a manager's on 10%.
Yep.
That's $40,000 a year.
Yeah, or it's 80. Yeah, it's potential $40,000 lost from earnings.
So is that something that, because that wasn't, like, the NRL has no remit to investigate dealings between agents and
clubs,
clubs,
didn't back then, we've had situations with agents, remember, in the years since we have.
Yeah.
And, was this something that maybe woke them up to potentially doing something? I can't recall.
So how is that? Well, okay, you get Billy to sign.
Yeah.
And look, is the agent seriously going to not go, well, hang on, there's an extra $400,000 worth of stuff here?
Because these players are absolutely not negotiating on their own behalf.
Yeah.
That's a very rare situation.
Yeah.
Like a handful of players do that.
How am I, as the agent, going to get 10% of his boat? Can I go and use it on weekends?
The way I see it is that it's either...
It would have had to have been a backdoor payment to...
It's either the agent knows and should have been punished, or the player knew and should have been punished.
Yeah.
Both of them can't not know.
And at the very least, agents should have been stripped of all accreditation, because even if they pled ignorance and said, I didn't know, that's just as damning.
They should have fucking known.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. The NRL acted swiftly. Good on them.
They did. It was one of the in a week where leadership is
forever tainted the credibility of the club, and anything they do from now then until the history of fucking time will have an asterisk next to it.
Everything they ever did and everything they ever will do.
Any discussion
carries an air of illegitimacy, because
any discussion about Cameron Smith being in the top 5 players to play the game is instantly fucking considered a horseshit conversation.
Well, there's your goat. I mean, because he was one of the named parties.
Yeah.
They named, there were 4 players, they named 3 of them, he was one of them.
Yep.
So, speculate all you like about who the other one would be. I mean, Cooper Cronk's name wasn't mentioned. Was it him? I don't know. Who else was on Massive Coin back then? I mean, they had the shed Inglis over it. He was one of the ones named, though. Slater was named.
Yeah. That was post Matt King, wasn't it?
Yeah, and out there in the centres and wing, would he have even really been on like that mega money? Really? I don't think he would have been.
As a rep player.
He would have been paid well for his position.
And that's what I'm saying, though. It was just to get him under the cap. And if he'd been there long enough and he was a rep player, maybe that was a nice, easy, we'll give
But
you
I mean, like if you look at him and you look at Cooper Cronk, I mean, I know who's more, who's having more effect on
100%.
getting the victories for the side, and he's playing in a higher bracket.
Does Cooper Cronk's, and look, it was a decade ago, so he's not the cyborg that he is today. Does he strike you as the sort of player that you'd want to try that with? Like, tell me you can't see putting something in front of Cameron Smith and saying, sign here, wink, wink, and him being okay.
Yeah.
Does Cooper Cronk strike you as that sort of person?
Yeah, probably not. But then then the logical extension to that is, okay, we've agreed that he's intelligent enough that
who else
he would go into that with
then?
both eyes open. So then is he the guy that would do that? And then I would say, geez, a smart NRL player understands the shortness of a career and the imperative of earning as much money
but getting a boat and a Suzuki.
Yeah, that's like $50,000 worth of like $400,000 over. You know what I mean? Like there is cash money in there to be had.
Was TWiL still playing?
He's not worth it. The cash.
No, he's not. But again, clubs.
But the only thing is, if you told me that there were eight players and I only named three, then fuck yeah, King, Kill, all those guys.
But they're not saying that it was the unnamed player got 400,000. It might have been that there was one player that went from 400 to 900. The other two got another 200, and there was a fourth player that got another 50.
Yeah, let me see. Because we're talking an absolutely significant amount of money. For example, using the example of the first player, a $400,000 contract lodged with the NRL. The value of the letter of offer was $950,000. So even if you take the boat and the jet skis and fuck whatever out of it, I mean, they're still getting like another $400,000 cash.
Yeah,
yeah. Which is another reason that it was mind blowing that people like that, like players or agents, didn't get killed because just the fucking ATO. What are they doing with that money?
Yeah,
I mean, if they're not banking it, then they're.
Although that's the thing, though, you would in that situation. You would assume that it all went through the Storm's payroll system, so it all would have been taxed legitimately.
Yeah. I suppose so. And then it's not illegal for them to pay them money. It's only illegal in terms of the NRL and their rules that they apply.
That's it. They weren't breaking any laws by paying the extra money.
Unless they were because they weren't registering, they've been paid the extra money.
Yeah, that's it.
An interesting time, but let me tell you, fuck that, mate. It makes me happy. Just look at my timeline today with all my friends, sharing the memories that, from today. It's just such a glorious time. I take such pleasure in it to this day. And if you're a Melbourne Storm fan and it was a terrible day for you, I mean, you deserve it, honestly.
Yeah. It's always struck me as a fucking strange thing. Like, you get dickheads. Like, do you remember when Aaron Woods was relevant and people used to talk to him in the media?
No, I'm not that old. I haven't been following the game that long.
When they were talking about the NRL wanted access to players' tax returns.
Yep.
And they've got no fucking right. They've got no fucking right. Well, you know what? They fucking do. Because the minute clubs stop paying you through legitimate payroll methods, then they're actually in trouble with, government entities.
Yep.
And I think that would be almost one of the quickest ways to not eliminate but stomp out a lot of the shit that's gone on.
Yep.
Is just open it up.
Yeah, exactly.
You want access to the NRL's financials? What's the difference?
Yeah. And I mean, and the
way
way
going to know how much you get paid by fucking breakfast radio for doing an appearance.
Yeah, and the only way around that is a situation like a club would have, for example, if they had a high-powered businessman's group that wasn't associated with the club per se, but independently met for the best interests of the club.
Yep.
And therefore, we're all, independently wealthy and would be able to make cash payments and they wouldn't care because it's their cash money. They're not trying to claim anything, from it. And the players not banking it.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Like
clubs where we heard where players were given they were assigned a pokey at the Leagues Club.
Yep.
There was their pokey.
Yep.
And any coins that went into that pokey were their coins.
That's it. Yeah.
That's another situation that's happened.
Or, again, in North Queensland, where, just so happens that people high up in the club happen to know a thing or two about real estates and just happen to have a couple of developments on the go at any given stage, and they're just giving advice. They're saying, you know what, I really think that this development would be a great investment opportunity for you. And if you're a shrewd negotiator, you might be able to negotiate the price of this property down to a tenth of what it would normally.
You might be able to get $200,000 off the land.
You would still, unfortunately, have to live in Townsville, though.
Yeah,
and there is no amount of money that can make up for that.
Nope. Okay, quickly, the recaps as streamed. It was a great week of action for the people who have been following the streams. The request was to jack up the difficulty, so we did this week, and I've got to say, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. In fact, there were sometimes there was a bit of a struggle, but I think probably before rugby league starts again, we'll probably be on the highest difficulty level because we're getting fucking ninja at this game. The games this week, as per what would have been round 6, had the rugby league be operating at the moment. The Cowboys 18 defeated the Storm 0. Glorious, another L for the Storm this week. And the man of the match again, I think it was Tanalolo. Manly in the first game under the higher difficulty level, Manly 24 defeated the Titans 0. It was fairly comfortable. I was a little bit nervous because it was the first time under that difficulty level. They went to halftime at 12-0. Then Cherry Evans scored off the kickoff after halftime, and then Dylan Walker scored off the kickoff following that. And so it was shut the gate. The Broncos 12 defeated the Sharks 6. I was using the Broncos in this game. I bombed at least 2 tries, and David Fafita scored just after half-time to take the lead, which they managed to hold for the whole game. One thing this difficulty level does have is fatigue and things like that too. And there's some players running around that are just fucking dead on their feet. And you try and substitute them in and other guys in for them. And just like props, for example, they just fucking die out there. Yeah. And like halves, like spine players as well. They just fucking die. And you can't really substitute them around either because you need them, But, the Knights 6 defeated the Raiders 0. Pearce scored in the first 10 minutes, and that was it. Just had to hold on for the whole game because it was one of those games. Like Saifidis, dead set, didn't last a fucking half each. They were dead by the 30-minute mark of each half.
That's not too far from the actual reality of...
I'm starting to think this game might be more like real life than I gave it credit for.
Just get a feel from Knights fans.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Saifidi?
D?
Yeah. I would love for you to let me know how you feel. Is he a cult favourite, or do you see him as he really is?
Look, I will refer you to Pryor, Matthew, and the opinion of Cronulla Sharks fans to let you know that you are barking up the wrong fucking tree.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I got to say that, but I mean, fuck, I made a name for myself on this podcast absolutely shitting on the likes of Adam Cuthbertson and fucking Chris Bailey and people like that, T-Rex, when they were playing for my team.
Yeah. What about Mataudia? How do you feel?
Do you remember when he was a thing?
Do you remember when the whole fucking family was a thing?
Yeah, well, Sione was the thing, remember? And then the 4 of them were going to go like part and parcel over to the Dogs.
That's right.
And then the Knights had to pay them and remember, Sione was he got into the Australian team that year as a fucking 19 or
Mal couldn't pronounce his fucking name.
Yeah,
I remember the press conference.
And then since then, Kaiser Sose, you'll never see him again.
It just seems that whenever anything shit happens to the Newcastle club on the field, Mataudia is within spitting distance of it if he's not in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah. What else happened? Roosters 18 defeated the Warriors zip. The Eels 28 defeated the Bulldogs 6. And that was raced out to a lead. The Dogs clawed back and got a try, and then they put on a couple, one right on full time to bury them. The most epic game of the round was the Rabbitohs 8 defeated the Dragons 6 in Golden Point, and it was a game that people were looking forward to running up a score on. The using the Rabbitohs against the Dragons, but I'll tell you, fucking Dragons, they hung in there, and the fatigue shit smashed the Rabbitohs. No fucking cardio in that side at all.
Really?
And so we get into the Golden Point. Adam Reynolds had 1% stamina left.
Oh Jesus!
Made a line break. Got coat hanging around the 40-metre line out wide, but probably 15 metres in from touch, 40 metres out. And I'm like, fuck it. He's got to step up. Ben Hunt had an opportunity for a field goal 30 metres out, didn't take it. It went deep into Golden Point, multiple possessions for each side.
This game's more realistic than I remember.
Oh, it's crazy. And then and so Adam Reynolds had the hit the conversion from about 40 metres out wide, and nailed it. Fucking, and so he had 1% stamina left, but he won. So he got the kick. 8-6, man of the match performance. And finally, the West Tigers 12 defeated the Panthers 2 in what was an epic close encounter, 0-0 at half time. Second half, I go through the fatigue list and look at all these guys at half dead, swap players around, get Cheekam in the side. I think I threw him in at lock because like whoever was starting at lock was dead, and so off the kickoff, just said fuck it, just went for it and just spread it. Someone sailed down the right touch line, got tackled about 10 metres out, spin it in. Cheekam first touches the ball, step, scores under the sticks and I took a cowardly penalty to take it out to 8-0.
Oh.
Panthers start surging. I coat hanger Cleary 10 metres out. The stage is set for the Panthers to get on the board for the first time. And boy, did they ever. Cleary
penalty goal?
Took the penalty goal. Fucking cow, 10 metres out from.
Well, there you go. Now this game's how I remember it.
And then so then it was 8-2 for a long period of time, and Benji got the match sealing try, and he was man of the match again, and the Yuri Cleary over.
Fucking Cleary.
It's ended on Twitch. So if you can watch the complete streams for each game at twitch.tv/This Week in League, and then I do highlights as well, just for the scoring plays for the games as well. So if you want to get on there, get on there and look at videos, and you'll see the highlights videos and stuff like that. I think I've got a couple I haven't done yet from the last couple of games last week, but I'll get them done. And with Twitch, you've got a number of achievements that you need to sort of tick, and things to reach like affiliate status. And like you need to have like a certain number of average viewers per stream. You need to stream for a number of hours. You need to stream on a number of days. You need to have a certain number of followers. We've smashed all of those except for the number of days. So the next stream that happens will put us over that level, and then we'll be affiliate. And then it's to become a Twitch partner is a massive hike. You need to average like 75 viewers average a stream. Okay. So we'll have to bump that up significantly.
I better go get some fakies then.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right, mailbag for this week. Where's all my mailbag shit? Oh, there it is. There. Just want to make sure I've got it all. Fucking the way this fucking budget version of Word that I'm using lays things out sometimes is fucking infuriating. In terms of when you put images in there like screenshots and stuff, it just fucking throws them all over the fucking place. The first thing though that I have to mention is our man Chewy. He went through the Twitch results over the last couple of weeks.
Chewy, he's done it.
He put the scores as best he could. I don't think you could put exact margins in. I think you had to choose from like 6-12 or 8-14, that sort of thing. So the margins aren't 100% what they should be for accuracy. However, he's good, certainly in terms of the 2 points each round, and the margins are close. So at the moment, as I scroll down to it, based on that, the current table stands, if games were continuing as per the streams, the Rabbitohs on top of the table.
Jesus.
Tied at the top of them as well. There's no undefeated sides at this point. Mm-hmm. The Rabbitohs have one loss and on top of the table. Tied with the Cowboys, also with only one loss at this point.
So hang on, how many points are they in total?
So they've got 10 on the table. So 5 wins, 10 points.
So this is taking into account the actual 2 games that happened.
Yes, this is the table that existed after 2 rounds plus what's happened since on Twitch.
Good work.
So Manly also tied on top there with 10. Then we go back to the Eels on 8, Knights on 8, Panthers on 8, Tigers on 8, and then we go back again to Broncos on 6. In the 8 on for and against, Storm on 6, Titans on 6, Raiders, Roosters, and Warriors on 4, Dragons 2, Bulldogs 2, and without a single solitary point this season, the Sharkies. Stone motherless fucking last.
Fucking spooners.
Spooner position after 6 rounds of action and with no competition points to show for it.
As they fucking deserve.
Okay, what else we got here in the mailbag? Sagar says, do you think the NRL should introduce a player sit-out and 5-minute sin bin system for time wasting? For example, if a player or team continuously waste time, like they hold up play so they can stretch or other things that waste time and not let the game flow, if they do that multiple times, then the player or the team should be penalised with a player sit-out or a 5-minute sin bin. Do you think it'll work, or will it just waste more time?
Yeah, I like the crux of what you're getting at.
Yep.
I'd love for referees to fuck off with time wasting.
Yep.
And to have an almost ruthless mentality in which they warn, and it doesn't even have to be a captain.
Yep.
Look, I suppose it should be. Warn them and then blow the whistle. And you don't need to sit players down or anything like that. I think just losing possession in the game at its current
penalty
state,
straight. Yeah,
that's it.
And you will find that as with what happened with the punching. Yep. When they enforce it and there's a threat and that threat is carried through.
Yep.
I mean, with the punching, it's the sin binning is the option.
Yeah.
But it stops fucking pretty much immediately, and when it doesn't. I remember Mitch Allgood, punch Matai in the head, boom, gone.
Yeah.
The fucking Curtis Scott and Dylan Walker, gone.
Yep.
Like, that just happens straight away.
Yeah.
And you can name on one hand the amount of incidents.
Yeah.
Even in the finals, what was in the Storm versus with fucking Nelson and whoever, first tackle they started punching.
Yeah.
It was Storm and East or something. Boom, gone.
Yep.
First tackle.
That's it.
So as long as the referees bring a ruling in. And then they're prepared to ruthlessly enforce it, then fuck yeah, I think it'll work.
And again,
it's just whether they do.
Not to get into another fucking rant about what absolute fucking shit cunts Fox Media and Channel 9 are, but if you cast your mind back to the beginning of last year, when there was a clampdown on being offside of all things.
Yeah.
And I heard referees say things that were fucking music to my ears, especially to teams like the Storm.
Yep.
When a team would run up early on the right side and the offense would go left.
Yep.
And they'd blow a penalty anyway.
Yep.
And the offending team's captain would literally go to the ref and say, but they didn't even come our way. And the referee would say, no, but by you running up, you forced them to...
which is true.
To play that, which is 100% true.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the attack was better. There was more free-flowing rugby league. But then... the fucking media cunts got their eyes in. There's too many penalties.
Yeah.
There's too many penalties, and you're enforcing the rules too much.
Yeah. Which is fucking hilarious when you hear it said out loud.
Yeah, so...
yep.
But yeah, look, if it could only be a benefit to waste less time.
Yep. Chris said, why do we love a game that treats us so poorly? Why do we think it will change when it disappoints us so much? Don't be so negative, man. It's not the end of the world yet.
It's a fucking Yuri of Cleary. Smarten up, you ISO cunt.
Look, it's just...
I'll give you a pass because
because you're the inventor of that fucking godforsaken hashtag.
Ooh.
Well, inventor, I mean, it's such a proper term for cunt.
No one can own Yuri of Cleary.
Oh, he fucking owns it. He's going to fucking own it when I see him next. Which would have been like next week or Magic Weekend.
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
rough.
It's just reminding me, triggering me all over again.
It's a terrible thing when you're passionate about something to the extent that it is a significant aspect of your life, and you feel that things should happen for the best interest of this thing you love, and those things don't happen. But I would say to you, take a step back. The game's still there. And like we were saying before, in the last TV rights deal, the game itself didn't really change. The example I just gave you, we had those few weeks where they were adjudicating the rules perfectly, and then it went back. Realistically, though, the game itself didn't really change. St. George choke, Tigers come 9th.
What else do you need?
Exactly.
Really. As long as those two things keep happening, I mean, the game of rugby league will be strong.
Exactly. Spot on.
You don't need to
Put it this way.
Involve yourself in the intricacies and nuances of the business around the game.
Yeah.
Social media kind of demands you do. But you don't have to fucking subscribe to that.
No, social media doesn't. Social media just fucking makes everybody an expert on fucking everything.
Right. This is true.
And I'd had this big fucking argument with somebody about a different issue.
Yeah.
And they got fairly heated because they thought I was being politically incorrect. It was an American, and it was about shit going on in America at the moment.
Yeah.
And my standpoint has been, and I can't see it changing, that everyone's entitled to an opinion. However, not all opinions are worth the same on different things. And so the opinions of most people on things related to the business aspect is worth fuck all.
Correct.
The opinions, and I say this with all due respect for your household, but the opinions of accountants on strategic decisions is worth fuck all. Accountants are there for, they're really good at tax and structure and those sorts of things, but about forward-thinking strategy, that's not their forte. So even just within that little fucking financial world, all opinions aren't worth the same. Correct. So, look at social media and fucking laugh at them all smoking their crack pipe, and then just wait.
They're not smart. They're not. They're fucking. They're removing their e-ribs and sucking their e-penises.
That's true. Wait for fucking Cleary to lift the trophy at the end of the year, and everything will be fine. Because it's happening, baby.
It's highly unlikely. So let's fast forward in time to the likely scenario. You don't have to agree with me. It's just the point of the scenario. I mean, it is. I mean, like you said, some opinions aren't worth as much, and yours on this matter is not. But the likely scenario happens that the Panthers don't reach the grand final. Well, you know what? I'll be generous. They do, but they lose. At what point is that? Is it the full-time hooter blows, and then you go, okay, all right, it wasn't the year of Cleary after all.
Oh, 100%.
Next year might be the year of Cleary.
No.
What do you?
No.
When does the year of Cleary die?
Each year is the year of Cleary. Because the year of Cleary lives with Erie, Yuri, and Miri.
What I'm trying to convey to you right now through my look is that you are currently the fucking personification of that Scott Bakula fucking gif. You open up the cupboard. I mean, I'm surprised there's not an ambulance fucking coming right now. Like, this time tomorrow, someone's going to be listening to this show and they're like, "Holy fuck, that motherfucker's stroking out." Why didn't Nate call an ambulance?
It's so obvious.
That's obvious, and because the year of Cleary, you deserve to die if you fucking push that narrative.
Well, he's the reason the season's restarted.
Okay, how so?
Because he will obviously need to lead New South Wales to their 3-0 victory over Queensland, and so for that to happen, the season needs to restart. So the only reason Volandis is entertaining getting the season back up and running is because it's the year of Cleary.
That Whoop. Even more unmuted thing. Look at that. You were saved by the music. The
The Eerie of Cleary is the reason that you got your Greenberg revenge. That you should bow down to the Eerie of Cleary.
Look, the only possible catalyst for the whole Greenberg thing, and I will concede that it is the Eerie of Cleary if this is proven to be true, is if that fucking chinful cunt has gone to Wuhan and eaten fucking bats in the off season. If he was patient zero for coronavirus,
it's a little known fact that the human body stores most of its antibodies in its chin.
So most of its viral load in its chin.
That's it.
Fucking hell. There's just way too much time dedicated to that discussion.
Chinny genetics with stepdad.
This is audio AIDS. That's what it is. This is like it's like Ebola fucked a bat. Pulled out, made a soup from the seed, ate the soup with more bat meat in it,
and then ejaculated blood onto SARS.
And then went to Ibiza and fucked the Spanish flu.
Hello.
With Spain.
I'm Chinese bat.
Darren, with rugby imploding and old Wallabies captains calling for the whole structure of the game's operation to be overhauled, if you can pick your top 3 changes to league at any or all levels, what would they be? Just give me the digitals.
Top changes to league.
Give me the streaming. That's literally the only thing.
Yep. And
I would sacrifice everything else to have that sort of, to have like an NFL Game Pass level situation with documentaries, original content, the games, all the past games, fucking every little minutia thing that you would ever want to watch.
I could even deal without the documentaries. And in the future, yes, 100%, add it.
Mm. Thing is, there's already there's already existing content they can put on there. They don't have to produce any 100%. Documentaries this week.
Then that gets into a whole other issue of you're then going to those producers and trying to obtain rights. And as Netflix would tell you, that's not a fun thing to do. Like, do you remember how shithouse Netflix catalog was in the beginning? Yeah,
it's probably not a fun thing to do, but
that's what I'm saying. Fuck it.
It's an easier thing to do. It's an easier thing to do than write and produce original content immediately.
It's really not.
There's, particularly in the rugby league space, you find those documentaries. You'd have to digitize the cunts anyway.
No. But what I'm saying to you is, just give me the games.
Yep.
The digital.
Yep.
All I want is for them to cut out a middleman. And just as Fox now on sells, like there's already a fucking model for it.
Yeah.
Fox, and I know there's ownership similarities and there's all the insider fucking dick shaking and double Dutch rudders, but Fox sell it to Telstra. To stream on their mobile devices.
Yep.
Telstra can use that as a fucking incentive for people to take up a Telstra contract. Yep. You get it free.
Correct. I'm one of those people.
That's the only change I want for the NRL to invest in camera technology, to invest in the app infrastructure, and to invest in quality game analysis.
Yep.
Without any sort of cross promotion.
Yeah, and no. Well, the only cross promotion is the NRL network.
Yeah,
and I'm fine because guess what? They're not going to have a fucking get married to some cunt you never met show on.
Well, here's the thing, right? I was watching a press conference with the Reserve Bank the other day. Have you ever seen one of those things?
No. Well, I mean, I've flicked from them very quickly.
Like, yeah, okay.
It's not compelling. I'll read the highlights later, thanks.
They are very dry and an acquired taste. But you know how they work? They're in the fucking press conference and the people that are giving the press conference speak and then a voice comes over a fucking PA system that says, the next question is from Cha-Cha-Cha at this publication.
Yeah.
And that person's given a microphone and their question comes over the fucking PA.
Yep.
And you can hear everything. Wouldn't it be nice if the NRL just invested in that? That alone.
Yeah.
Give me the digital, sell it to Nine, sell it to Fox. Their current model has shown that people will make a choice in how they watch it, and that's what Nine's shitty about.
Yeah, that's
people
right.
are choosing
because when they
to
have the
watch Fox.
choice, when given a choice, they choose not to watch their coverage.
Nine.
Yeah,
exactly. And instead of changing and getting better, they're asking for more games.
Yep, exactly. Oh, and sorry, I just thought of something else. Yeah, like that the press conference thing it's a small thing, but I agree with you as well on that. The other thing is, of course, kick outs out again.
Yes, 100%.
I forgot about that entirely, and I actually feel bad because that'd probably be actually ahead of the network.
And the other thing I would like is to have constant video referees. That's enough so they can be running on delays with the game. As in, one might be 5 seconds behind, but then when they spot something, the other one takes over, and make it okay for the referees to be corrected.
Yep.
Change the fucking culture.
Yep. And that's a bigger change and a more difficult one, I think, just because the nature of the sport, just the like what the sport is, the way it's it's a free flowing game that doesn't really stop unless one of these predetermined stops in play.
Yep, that's it. But then when
it's very easy to be completely accurate in like an American football situation where a play happens and it stops, and there's 40 seconds in which a penalty can be adjudicated or something before the next play has to run.
Yeah.
So makes it easy for them to have. I'd love that kind of accuracy and because they try and remove subjectivity. Every postseason when something happens that somehow gets around the lockdown rules that they have, they'll try and figure out a way to.
And that's the other one, to have segmented contracts for players. Have the same salary cap, but then to say you can sign people and this is your guaranteed segment, and every other part of it is performance-based or don't rape-based or don't fucking get done with drugs on you based, don't chomp clits-based.
Permanent injury kills your career off immediately.
That's it. And, we will cover you with insurance. We'll have enough insurance.
Yep.
Or we will show you how to get sufficient insurance.
Yep.
So that if you fucking snap your leg and you can't play, you get paid.
Yep.
I think that would smarten a lot of cunts up real quick.
Yeah. That's more out of that question than I thought we'd get, to be honest. Clevo, out of 10, how good will be watching rugby league at a beer garden in the sun at 8 p.m. at night in late November like the old Wacker test?
Fuck.
How fucking good. How good. Very, very good. Once the season's up and running again, my next priority is when are they going to open the borders up again? When's the grand final going to be under this new system? When will we be able to get flights organised? And can we have a grand final thing this year?
I might finally get my grand final bus.
Maybe. If it's the only way to get across the fucking border.
Yeah.
It may be. Nathan said, what's your take on the fact that Bill Gates creates bat flu so he can mass produce vaccines to sell to the masses with mind-controlled drugs as the core ingredient of the suggested vaccine?
Jesus fucking Christ. There's a lot to unpack there.
I tell you, you're starting to see these videos, though, and there are people that I used to respect. And I see them sharing these videos because, some doctor fucking something or other, and he's got something to say about, what Bill Gates is doing. And I look at the subject line and think immediately the way it's sort of marketed with the capitalized words in the headline and in the heading and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this is fucking bullshit. But because I like this person and have known this person for many years, over a decade, I'm going to Google that doctor and just see who the fuck that cunt is. Oh, he's a doctor that is a proponent of like chelation therapy to remove heavy metals from autistic children to cure them. Okay, he's a fucking anti-vax cockhead. You've just shared something absolutely fucking retarded.
Yeah. I'm
not going to engage with you on this because the relationship will end when I tell you what I think of your fucking bullshit that you're putting out there. So I'll just put a laughing emote on it. And then we'll see what you fucking say. And then it's funny because then all of the common friends, like a bunch of troll ass friends that know these people as well, who are also like very anti-religion and anti-vaxxers, and and so then they all start throwing them on there, the laughing emotes on there, but some of them can't keep their mouth shut and they're just like going,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you know the other one that disappointed me? That fucking tennis player, Djokovic.
Fuck that dude. He's written off. Anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
Declared.
Yeah.
Declared anti-vaxxer.
Oh, was that already known?
No. I only found out the other day
So
when the
did I.
tweet or whatever he said. Yeah.
Oh, I heard it. I was listening to
like 3 days
radio.
ago. 3 days ago, probably 2 days ago max.
Yep.
Yeah. It was only like literally just happened. Before then, I don't think he'd expressed any opinions, or certainly nothing to gain public traction like these ones did.
I'm not a massive tennis follower, but just for the fact for someone that's that well versed in, you would assume, sports science.
You would think so because he's had his fucking injuries.
Yeah, but even to have this, like, what a fucking failing of the sports scientists around him to be like, fucking dude, what, you're going to listen to me on everything else, but for some reason my opinion, anyway, fuck him. And we'll fucking wheedle him too.
Yeah, there's no vaccine for a fucking crowbar cunt. It does my head, and it's just incredible how this fucking
that'd be a great
parallel line has been drawn to like the 5G thing and the corona, like, and how something like it's like when the flat Earth thing fucking couple of years ago when it first surfaced in a big way.
Yep,
like it is so fucking nonsensical that it could not possibly take hold anywhere, but then it does.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, nothing fucking surprises me at all in terms of which crackpot theory takes root and actually develops a following. Like fucking Covey and the fucking 5Gs. Like this Bill Gates is doing this. Considering, like, you know, you say what you will about Bill Gates and perhaps his business practices and things like that back in the day. Motherfuckers, philanthropist times probably the biggest financial philanthropist in the history of the fucking world.
And there is a school of thought, or there is a thought exercise that gets you to the fact that he is actually the best thing to happen to humanity, in that they're now attempting, is it malaria he's trying to get rid of? Like, I know he's basically cured AIDS.
Yeah.
I thought it was malaria he was getting onto next.
That is a big one.
Like, that's
like, it's nothing that we really have to confront in our lives, but like, you know, more
people have died of malaria in the history of the human race than anything else.
Yeah. And from all reports, I know some people that have it, and like, kind of a thing.
Yeah, like, and you know, he has nothing to do with Microsoft now.
No,
which probably
not for years and years.
Which probably explains their fucking dubious hiring practices of fucking turncoat employees that can so quickly fucking turn their back on an entire community. And you know that it's a fucking conscious decision because you have an example of an exact genetic copy who is fucking staunch as fuck. So basically, fuck you, Microsoft. I hope you go the way of Virgin. Apple for life.
It's funny. I saw a tweet, not a tweet. I saw on Twitter a quote from Richard Branson from 2009, I believe it was, talking about British Airways. And it's basically like, government should not prop these eyes up. We need to step back and let these poorly run companies die.
He didn't. He gave a fair old swipe at the Australian government.
Recently, because they wouldn't bail him out? Okay. I didn't see it.
And again, it's, if you work for Virgin, don't at me. It's very fucking sad.
And I felt, and especially the air waitresses, like, I felt like they were a higher class at Virgin than they are at Jetstar and so on.
Yeah. Qantas was full of people's mums.
Yeah.
And like,
and look, I'm not a hater.
Like early teenagers' mums.
Yeah.
Like, where they're just fucking angry at life and they're just waiting for that thing to leave the house. So you're just getting attitude from them. And you got to move your elbow when they walk past you in the aisles.
Yeah. Well, because, otherwise you'll get fucking tonyered. Like,
yeah, that's it.
They'll push that fucking cart. They don't give a shit.
Exactly.
And those things cleave bone.
But the government gave exactly the same amount of money to Qantas as it gave to Virgin, so they can keep flying now.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not going to bail them out of their fucking debt.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
fucking Richard, pipe down, cunt, or you're in line for a fucking widlering as well.
Sell a fucking pedo island or something if you need to increase your cash flow.
That's it.
Seriously.
Watch your fucking mouth, or I'll start tweeting that you may have information that could incriminate Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, see old Kim Jong-un, he obviously knew something about Hillary and piped up about it this week. Yeah. And so did Todd Greenberg, evidently.
That information that could...
I think we've just solved the whole sudden departure. And that's full-time episode 347. Thanks for listening, everyone. As always, interact with us on Twitter. So follow at TWI League. Our Facebook community, hashtag TWiL Nation, lives at facebook.com/groups/TWiL Nation. Get the fuck in there. We're also on facebook.com/This Week in League. Like, share, all that good shit. Help us out, bros and broettes.
And fucking embrace the Yeary of Cleary.
Do not embrace that at all.
It has been clinically proven that if you embrace the hashtag, it's like an affirmation that everyone working together can have this happening, and it will also have positive benefits in your life where it'll be better than vaccinations. You'll be immune to corona. You'll have so many fucking positive wave functions in your body that you will actually have more energy. And as a man qualified in steppy genetics, I give you that guarantee.
Or you can understand that there's probably 6 people on fucking Earth who would dare to use this fucking hashtag and just ignore it, and it will go away.
You know you want to.
This stepdad pack fucking crapra fucking philosophizing about this bullshit hashtag.
Yeah, it's as I said, it's steppy genetics. You can buy one of our fucking wave machines for $15,000.
Jaypak cocktra. If you'd also like to support the show, drop us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And if you want to go the extra mile, the digital memberships are still available and can be picked up at any time for just $3.99 a month. That'll get you an extra episode every week, as well as extra shit. And once the games start up again, we'll be doing game companions, which will probably run several hours on a Sunday each month. Where are we? Memberships, no change. All the stuff's come in except for the drink bottles. So as soon as they come in, the memberships will go out. A bunch of stuff's already been shipped. People who ordered just hats or just the trust the shirts and things like that. I would say, depending on our lovely partners at Australia Post, I do know that things are a little bit slower than usual due to the corona. I have noticed, even around southeast Queensland, I could usually rely on them, getting there kind of the next day. But that has not been the case the last couple of weeks. So I am starting to see some slowdowns there. But I think that the first Truster shirts are probably pretty much at their destinations. Or if they're not now, it must be very fucking close, because there was a significant number of them in southeast Queensland that I sent out last Thursday, I believe it was. So I'm surprised that I haven't heard yet. But that's it, yeah. So, as soon as we get those bottles, they're coming in from New Zealand. So, they're a little bit affected by the Rona, but I think they said it was probably 3 weeks back when I started getting done. So, of that time, we must be getting to the end of it, or maybe a week left. So, we shall see. What else have I got to cover off here? I think that's about it. Do you have anything else?
Nope. Hashtag Geary of Cleary.
Hashtag do not fucking do that. And, be part of don't be caught on the wrong side of history.
See? It's getting into you.
Oh, it's getting into me, all right, like fucking bat flu. It's getting into me like a swab. Have you seen? You know anyone who's been tested for the Rona?
I've seen how they do it.
It's kind of a thing, apparently. It's not comfortable.
I don't know. There's a certain aspect of the population that's been training for something jamming that far up their nostrils for a long time.
Yeah, but despite that, I still feel nervous if I had to get tested. But that's it. That is all for 347. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.
Later.